Soon as it says starting recording at the top, hop in there.
Hello and welcome to season 3, episode 11 of the Raider Power Podcast. I'm Ryan, and with me, as always, is my man Moss and our boy Evan. How are we doing today, fellas?
We are doing fantastic on my end. Evan, how you doing, man?
Doing absolutely great, man. It's
Uh,
dancing time.
It
it's
is dancing
dancing
time.
time, and I'll tell you what, boys, I'm insanely anxious waiting for Friday to come around.
Oh my god, me too. That's
It's,
that's gonna be a scary day.
I mean, the bracket is out. We all know where we lie at this point. We're in what is highly considered the toughest of the four regions. The South region it really packs a punch. You got Baylor, who we're just gonna see. Hopefully, we'll see again for the third time this season as the 1 seed. Ohio State, a really solid 2 seed. Arkansas has been red hot at the 3. Purdue at the 4. Nova at the 5, who at one point was the top 3 team in the country. Obviously Tech. You got a really solid 8-9 UNC and Wisco. And, you can't overlook the team that Texas Tech has in the first round, number 11 seed, Utah State. It is
Yeah.
a hell of a region, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine and dandy to look ahead, but you hit the nail on the head there. This first matchup is certainly not worth overlooking because the Utah State Aggies is going to be a very tough matchup. Certainly winnable, but we're going to have to play some of our best basketball to give ourselves a chance to win this game.
And I think Tech is playing some of its best basketball at the moment. So, I mean, if we beat Texas, we would have been in the Big 12 finals and had a really good shot there. Just to let that one slip away. They're really just going to need to focus on finishing. But Chris Beard, come March, come tournament time, these guys are going to be locked in.
Yeah, I mean, I think this first game is really gonna be quite a way to kick off the tournament. We don't have an easy game leading off. We got Utah State, who, I mean, if you want to talk good defenses, they're one of the best defenses in the country. They've played some real teams. They've beat some real teams. They aren't your standard 11 seed, so we're starting off strong.
Who would have been? Are they the strongest 11 seed?
I mean, you got the Wichita State Drake playing game. Those are two good teams.
Syracuse.
The Michigan State, and UCLA playing game. I mean, Michigan State's playing their best basketball of the season by far. They can beat anybody right now. In Syracuse, I mean, I those are four strong teams. I don't know if I would necessarily want to be matched up against any of them.
No,
Yeah, I mean that just proves that come March, I mean it's March basketball. Everybody in the big dance is a force to be reckoned with. There's no easy matchups. Um, but Utah State, you said it, Ryan. They are excellent on defense. I think that for adjusted defensive efficiency, they're eighth in the nation.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have our hands full. We're going to have to make sure that our offense is clicking. We've seen throughout the season that when we struggle, it's 9 times out of 10 because of our offense. And so our offense is going to have to come to play on Friday.
yeah, and Utah State's defense is very good. Like we were talking about Evan before this, they're very good at stopping twos. They're like I think they're fourth best in the country in field goal. I don't even know defensive rating in against the two, but they're not so great against the three. Problem is, Tech's 3-point shooting is so all over the place. I mean, I think Kyler Edwards is the only one shooting above 40%. Now, will that change in March Madness? Do you think Mac McClung gets locked in? Do you think he makes better shots, smarter shots? I don't know. Time will tell. But Terrence Shannon as well. Every time he shoots it, I think it's going in. But if you look at his percentages, he's not shooting the three. They're not shooting the three as a team very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Utah State is definitely strong in the paint, and it's behind the big 7-footer they got, Queta. But I mean, Texas Tech cuts and attacks the basket, and I think we'll be able to get to the hoop still. But Santos Silva will have his hands full for a full 40 minutes.
Yep.
Do you think we see Vlad in this one?
I don't.
You don't think so?
I think we do if we see Silva get into foul trouble early. I think we would have to because their offensive game plan is going to be centered around their 7-foot guy in the paint. And so if Silva gets in the foul early, the only other guy that we would put a body on him is Reek. I mean,
Yeah.
So I think there's a chance, but not if we execute our game plan the way that we want to.
Another question. Do you think that Jamarius Burton plays?
I don't know. And I haven't I was thinking about that today. I think he was still in a boot for the conference tournament. So I guess there's a chance, but have you guys heard anything on it?
I know he hurt his toe.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's got like turf toe, I guess, or court toe.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say there. I know his toes hurt. He hasn't played in a while, man.
Yeah, I don't want to discredit Burton, but certainly would be hurting if it were some other players. I mean, think back to the tournament 3 years ago when I really think that if Keenan Evans didn't have his injured toe, that we would have beat Villanova that game and potentially advanced to a national championship.
Yeah, and I think if Zach Smith wasn't hurt as well throughout most of that season, they would have. I think that was a national championship caliber team.
Yeah, I think if he's healthy, you probably see him, right? If he's healthy enough, sure. Beard loves him. He can run the offense. It's another guy who can be like a real point guard, where we know that Tech isn't necessarily built around a real one. You have a lot of scoring guards, and he's a guy that can come in and run a second unit if you need to give people like Kyler and Mac a break. So I think if he's healthy, Beard trusts him, and you'll definitely see him in the game.
Again, no knock on Burton, but I don't think that his presence in the game is going to be a deciding factor in this game. But I would like to have him. Absolutely. He's a good player, and I would like to have him.
The reason I bring it up is just because Burton has a good three-point shot. And I think that would help us a lot against this Utah State team.
So let's talk about the three. This is one of the big things I wanted to hit on is where do we get killed throughout the year? We get killed whenever teams attack the basket and dish out outlets to the wing for easy threes. We get killed from three-point shooting whenever they drive and dish. Oh. Big pro in this game is that Utah State is not known as a good three-point shooting team. I think that's a big-time advantage because we're going to be able to put bodies on their 7-footer, double them in certain instances. Sure, they're going to make threes, but we don't have that. It's not their major weapon like a Baylor or like a Kansas that we have to worry about.
Yeah, because, it's exactly that. It's when you feed the big man down low, too, and Texas Tech collapses in on them, especially when Santos Silva's in foul trouble and you don't have him out there. They collapse in, they kick out, they get open threes. You see it against Kansas, you see it against Baylor, like in those games so clear as day. And I think the other place where we get killed and what makes me have a little bit of nerves is second chance points.
Yeah,
these guys attack the offensive rebounds, and we're great defensive rebounds, but offensive rebounds we tend to let them up.
Yeah.
And you know what this reminds me of is the Sweet 16 game against Purdue in 2018. I was so nervous about this game against Purdue because they had those two really
floppy hair boy.
Yeah,
Matt Harms. It was almost a Red Raider.
Matt Harms and whoever the other guy was, I can't remember. I guess the other guy was out.
Harms is at BYU now.
I was so nervous about this game, and then when Tech came and played, they just came out with so much aggressiveness that they just shut it down. So I'm hoping that Chris Beard, my nerves are kind of going away a little bit. I think Chris Beard comes out with the fiery. I think this team comes out the kill and just gets it done.
Honestly, I think of this game a lot as the Buffalo game from the 2019 run. It's like everyone's got a lot of nerves about it. Like, damn, this matchup might be tough for them. Like, this might be the upset. This might be where they lose. And I think they come out and they treat it just like they did against that game, and they blow them out of the water from start to finish. And after that, we're like, hell yeah, this is a championship team. And that is the moment we blow up this team by 25.
I don't see Tech winning and losing either. I think this is like Tech wins. They're coming for a run.
I think you mentioned it earlier. I think this game is won or lost on the glass. I think that if I could pick one aspect of this game that's going to be pivotal, it's going to be attacking the glass. Um, and this team, you talk about going up against the big guys in the years past. Let's not forget that we had the Tariq Owens, the Norrance Odiases, the Zach Smiths. I'm a little bit worried with our size matchup, like we've said. So our guys are going to have to play big. They're going to have to play bigger than they've played, and they're going to have to take that 7-footers game plan away.
I think we're going to see a lot of Reek.
Yeah,
I do too.
Which I don't mind at all. I don't mind that at all.
I want high energy out of him. Just motor. Just attack the boards.
Chris Beard has been saying it all year long. This team wants to win more than any other team he's coached. And a lot of these guys haven't, Terrence Shannon hasn't been in March Madness. Has Mac McClung been in March Madness? I don't think so. I think this is his first year, right?
Yeah, correct.
This is his
first
2
years of G-Town, they did not make the tournament.
Santos hasn't played, I guess, 2 years from VCU. Kyler hasn't played in one since the national championship game. So this is
McCullough hadn't played.
This is the reason. This is the reason the transfers came to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And we have seen some great moments from Tech throughout the year, and especially in that Texas game, even though we lost, they came out playing some great basketball. And I think they played some really good basketball throughout the game. They just could not finish it. And they made some stupid decisions when it came to fouls. And they played right into Texas at the end. But if they play that high level of basketball that they did against Texas for the first, probably 10 minutes of the game, then if they can play like that throughout the rest of the game, the entirety of the game, which we haven't seen Tech do, then we got a really good shot here. But I was really impressed with how both the defense and offense were flowing at the beginning of that Texas game.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I'm
absolutely.
juiced.
And I think I am pretty juiced too. And I think we've heard this from the beginning of the season that this team is a team that's built for March. And I think you're right. You have that. You have not only just a solid team built around that can play defense, that can play offense, that is gritty, plays Big 12 tough basketball, but you also have a player like McClung, which is something you need for a tournament. You need that one player who can trade baskets back and forth when you're in a shootout with the team. And McClung's that guy. He has that killer instinct, and that is what makes them built for March.
That's my biggest question for Friday is how are we going to see Mac McClung? Because he's gone through, call it a semi-slump, but more so I would call it a correction on other teams. Like they're just figuring out how to scheme for Tech, and it's to shut down McClung. But think about a Utah State. Like, of course, they're scheming for us now, but before Sunday, they probably never, or very rarely watched Texas Tech basketball. And so that's a completely different ballgame than the Big 12 because everybody knows kind of Tech's identity in the Big 12. These guys, not so much. And so maybe we're going to see McClung have a little bit more freedom than we saw him have in the second half of the Big 12 season.
I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it, Evan. And I just say that because they have a lot of time to prep. So I think they're going to, pretty much put that as like, okay, we got to stop Mac McClung from driving to the hoop. What I want to see, and I know that Chris Beard has said he's watched a lot of Utah State basketball just because he said it's on late at night. What I want to see is Tech drive and get this guy into foul trouble. I think Tech gets the line more than any team in the country. So if we can just chip away at this big guy at the rim, get him in foul trouble early, then that really opens it up for us.
I don't know why.
I honestly just think it's something that we said like last week, where it's like these teams don't play Big 12 basketball. It's it's aggressive. It's a different defense. I think that a team like Utah State, I think that Chris Beard can work magic around them. I think that's where you're going to see a big win, just like we saw against Buffalo. I'm predicting a big win in this game.
All right. Maybe I'll stop worrying because I was very worried about that Buffalo game as well.
I'll tell you what. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that we're going to see a very big game out of McCullough. Not that we haven't seen big games out of him because he always puts up the numbers. He's always consistently good throughout the year. But when I think about aggressors and guys that take it to the basket with purpose, I think of McCullough. And I think that you're going to see him be a big-time focal point in this offense, especially to your point, if their game plan is to shut down McClung. McCullough's got to step up, and I think that he does it in March.
Yeah, I think you said that very well, Evan. Moving on to the rest of the Big 12, I mean, do you guys – I don't see any first-round losses. Looking at it, I really don't. I think Big 12 kind of just runs through this thing.
Maybe Oklahoma?
No, I don't see that. Mm-mm.
I think Texas has to be careful with Abilene Christian.
I do too.
You know what? I really hope they lose, but they got a good shot in that one.
And also Oklahoma, I couldn't agree more. Oklahoma has been playing some bad basketball.
Yeah, some really bad basketball.
Oklahoma could absolutely lose to Mizzou.
I think they could
really
too.
bad basketball.
But I think you see a strong showing from Oklahoma State. I think that they could make a run.
100%.
Well, and I think that Kansas could be in trouble. I know that Kansas is usually the powerhouse, especially come March. But Bill Self said that there's a good chance that they're traveling without multiple players.
Oh, that's a good point.
And if that's the case,
I think I saw a report that said 3 players.
Yeah.
Really?
3 players will not be with them because of COVID.
Oh my God.
So I mean,
make sure you go back and readjust your brackets.
I got to see the last time that Abilene Christian was in March Madness with Thomas Walkup at the Barclays Center, and their coach is absolutely nuts, man. This guy, I got his post conference was insane too. He's like kind of like more of a trailer park version of Chris Beard. I mean, this guy just gets these guys going. So, you know, this is the biggest opportunity that Abilene Christian will ever get is to play
and
Texas.
They're friends. Chris Beard and Abilene Christian's coach is friends.
Yeah, they're friends. Yeah. And they lost. I can't remember the game. Thomas Walkup scored and they won that game. That was lit. But Abilene, better hope there's no bigger moment for Abilene Christian than playing the Texas Longhorns in March Madness. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm expecting this team to just go balls to the wall against Texas. And if Texas is caught sleeping, ACU is not bad. I mean, we saw them earlier in the year. They got a really good defense.
I don't want to make this the Longhorn
And you know
podcast.
that Beard is calling up that coach and giving him insight.
The Texas Longhorns just drive me nuts. When we played against them and the announcers were fixating on Greg Brown throwing a temper tantrum, and they're just like, oh, we've got to collect himself, blah, blah, blah. That's just a stark difference. If someone on Tech's roster did that, they'd be gone. I mean, heck, why do you think Namari Burnett's gone? That's got to be part of it. Attitude adjustments, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, UT just drives me nuts in all respects. I hope they get beat by Abilene Christian.
So, I mean, do we want to talk about, like, Tech making a run in this thing or what? Or do you think we should just check in after every game?
Well, let's talk about this first weekend. So, assuming Tech take care of business, they await the winner of Arkansas and Colgate. Now, people probably writing off as Arkansas automatically advancing, but that Colgate squad is solid. They got an excellent offense. They run and gun, man. They got great shooters. I don't think that Arkansas is by any means in for just an automatic victory.
I mean, you click on Colgate and the first thing that comes up is CBS experts pick Arkansas to get upset first round.
I mean, Colgate can shoot, but if you want to talk about a team that plays with pace and also can run up and down a court and score, Arkansas is right at the top of that list as far as Power 5 teams that do that. I think it's going to be a run and gun shootout, and you're going to see a lot of points in that game. But in the end, I got to think Arkansas is advancing.
See, and what's funny about that is I feel more comfortable, knock on wood, about the round of 32 than I do against Utah State, because I feel more comfortable in our defense living up to our expectations than our offense overperforming. So we face guys like Arkansas and Colgate who have a high caliber offense. I have every faith in our defense that we're going to be up to the challenge for that game.
Evan, I totally agreed with you before the beginning of this YouTube video / podcast, but as soon as Ryan started talking, I kind of changed my mind, and now I think it's a blowout. So I'm not going back to being scared. I'm ready.
I hope that you're right. I hope that you're right.
I'm not going back to being scared. There's no chance. I'm all juiced up about this team. If you know what, it's gonna, as soon as it starts, we're gonna know. If they come out and if they play anywhere they did in the beginning of that Texas game, then we got a really good shot.
Yeah,
really
agreed.
Shot. Also, I mean, this is the other thing that I was saying, last week or 2 weeks ago is we're not going to see a I was really nervous that we were going to see a Big 12 team prior to an Elite Eight. That's an Elite Eight Baylor. So I'm pretty happy about that, honestly.
Same.
I mean,
Same.
It is a tough bracket, right? But like not having the opportunity to play another Big 12 team before that is pretty awesome. And I don't know, I guess if you were any bracket, would that have happened? Also, I'm glad we're not in the same bracket as Houston. Houston scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
potential Houston West Virginia matchup would be a heck of a basketball game to see.
I'm hoping that one happens. I'm looking forward to that.
That would be
Syracuse. You got to look out for Syracuse.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams, man. This is kind of a weird March Madness for me, to be honest. I don't really have any clear winners.
I mean, I definitely got Gonzaga going to the Final Four. But I mean, the weird thing is I love a bunch of like 6 and 7 seeds this year. Like I love USC, I love Texas Tech, I love UConn. Like those are all teams that I think could make runs, deep runs.
What are you thinking about Iowa, man?
I think Iowa gets beat by USC because Luka Garza runs into the the brothers, the Mobley brothers, the 7-footers.
Oh,
so that's just thinking that USC takes down Kansas.
Yeah, facts.
All right, so
it's a tough bracket all around.
Before we wrap this up, give me one major upset that you're predicting from the first round.
Ooh.
My major upset, and I think we've already talked about it, is Abilene Christian beating Texas. To me, I just think if you go to Abilene Christian, right, and you're playing for that program, and you get to play Texas first round of March Madness, tell me you're not just ready to go, man. You're just like, oh my God, that's probably the biggest because there's no way Texas even had. You probably wanted to go to Texas, and there's no chance they were looking at you. So now you get a chance to beat them in March Madness. Oh my God, that to me is that's huge.
There's that one, and a couple others I think to look out for are in the South region. Winthrop and Villanova. Villanova lost Colin Gillespie, their best player. Winthrop, they can score. You gotta look at Winthrop. You gotta think about North Texas over Purdue. That's a serious one. And then I love a couple of the 11s. I like Syracuse over San Diego State. And if Michigan State beats UCLA, BYU's got to watch out.
Yeah, I agree. My big one here is Georgetown.
Yeah.
The only way Georgetown goes to the tournament is by winning their conference championship, which they did handily. I think that the Georgetown Hoyas beat Colorado Buffaloes and advanced to the round of 32. They're playing some impressive basketball. And the other one that I think is where did I have it? I'm looking at my bracket here, to be honest with you. Well, whatever. I don't remember what I was going to say.
So the one that I have that you guys probably won't agree with me on is Oral Roberts beating Iowa State. I have that one marked down.
Wait,
Oral Roberts, huh? You got a 15 over a 2?
Yeah, I do. I
Oral
truly
Roberts
do.
Beating who now?
Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
Now, is that a true prediction or a hopeful prediction so that Texas Tech doesn't have to play Ohio State?
No, that is a true prediction, my man.
Excuse me, I found it. Oregon State, similar situation, winning their tournament. I think that they maybe give the Tennessee Vols an early exit in March.
And the only reason that I'm saying that Oral Roberts is going to win is because I've watched Max Abmas play a few times this year. I believe that he is the nation's leading scorer in all of college basketball. I believe that's true. And I think that he's built for the big moment, and I think he comes in and knocks out Ohio State first round. If he scores over 30, they win that game.
Well, a lot of great basketball coming up. Really only one game I care about, 12:45 Central Time on Friday.
Yeah, it's an early one.
Let's get it done.
Oh, my God, dude. I'm juiced.
Tell you what, I can get a lot of work done the end of this week, boys.
It's Christmas.
It's all Christmas.
It's all the holidays in one. Honestly, it's essentially like I always say, March Madness is the best sporting event of the year other than the World Cup. But since we've had to wait a year, this one feels extra special. And we got a good team. So
couldn't agree more. And you know what? Let's just look forward to Friday.
Yeah,
gotta love having a good team. And you know what? Let's get ready for Friday, boys. I'm Ryan.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Evan.
This has been the Raider Power Podcast. Guns up, fellas.
Guns up.
Guns up, baby.